Dayme Arocena was born in a populated neighborhood in Havana, in a house full of people in the middle of the economic crisis after the falling of the Soviet Union. The main entertainment in dark nights of no electricity was to sing. She's now one of the most internationally known Cuban singers and songwriters. Dayme became famous abroad, and she's being rediscovered now in her own country. She believes her strength and her light comes from Cuba, the country which she proudly defends. Thank you so much, Dayme, for receiving us here at your house and giving us this time to talk to you.
Thank you.
You are definitely a peculiar artist. You don't look like anyone else in Cuba, but you are extremely Cuban in your expression, in your music. So it's kind of shocking to find someone that can find peculiarity, uniqueness in Cuba. Now, I mean, when I say Cuba, I say an extremely rich country in terms of culture and art. And I want to go to the origins, your childhood, your folkloric neighborhood. How was that childhood, and how is that expressed in what you tell us now with your music and the way you sing?
I was born when I was 92.
1992.
1992. So I don't want to explain what happened in Cuba in 92, because everyone knows that. I mean, I don't have to explain all the problems we had, because at the same time, we got to survive even when we had all of those problems. So I just remember when I was like 3, 4, 5 years old, with no electricity at home.
Which was very common.
Yeah, seeing all my family singing every single time that we didn't have electricity. It was the way we found to still keep smiling, you know. And that's the best advice I got from my family. Even when the situation in life can be really tough, you have to smile, you have to sing. That's what we got from Africa, because they came to Cuba, they went to United States, to different countries as slaves, and even every single day in the world,
they sang.
They sang. So my family, they are not professional performers. They are just really happy. I remember when I was like 3 years old, my mom said to me that we used to be around 22 people at home. 22 with 1 toilet and 2 bedrooms in Santos Suarez. This situation was really hard. But no one went bed without food, because we are warriors. And I feel that every single song that I sing in my life, people get that feeling. People understand that I'm coming from that type of childhood, that type of, I don't know, atmosphere. I'm totally honest when I sing. I don't need big how can I say, like, equipment. And people used to tell me all the time, you have to wear heels because you should look taller. Because you are fat, you should wear black clothes. Because you are black, you should have extensions in your hair.
And you did the opposite of all of that.
I had everything I said. I had black clothes, I had heels, I had extensions in my hair, but it wasn't me. So when I got crowned, the saint said to me, just be yourself. Just do whatever you want to do. And I remember they have to shave your hair and you have to cover your head for like 3 months. After that, you have to do another ceremony that gives you the chance to see yourself again in the mirror, and you can take the hair wrap out, and you see your head with no hair, basically. And when that happened, I wasn't in Cuba, I was in Canada, and I remember I took a liter brush, and I combed my hair, and I put a little flower here with almost not hair. And I said, okay, this is me. Not extensions, not nothing. This is just me. Let's go out with all my friends. And it was the day that every single man in the street had to look at me. And I said, what the hell? I spent a lot of money putting extensions in my hair, and now that I don't have hair, actually, people pay attention to me? I should think about it. So, not extensions anymore. Not hair relaxing anymore. Because this is the gift I got from God. My African hair, my black skin, my quite fatty body. This is just me. I don't have to look around to find someone that is actually not me. It's not about heels or black clothes. It's about being myself. It's just that.
And I think your strength comes from that.
Yeah. It's easy to feel comfortable with yourself. Just people don't know it.
When you look at your schedule in a year, you're everywhere. You're never in the same spot for too long. And as a matter of fact, you're super Cuban, and it's quite recent that you are actually feeling the spaces in Cuba in terms of music, in terms of TV appearances, in terms of concerts. How come you became famous or recognized or even record an album outside Cuba and not in Cuba? How come you started abroad and not in Cuba? How did that happen, and why do you think why it was easier for you to do it outside and not in Cuba?
It wasn't easier, actually.
Even abroad, it was not easy.
Yeah. I found some people to invest in my talent, but sadly, those people are not Cubans. Because sometimes we don't know what's the right way. We just follow some other people's sense. And when I didn't change anything. I have written music since I was a child. All I wanted to do in this world was to sing my music. So every single time that I got into the stage to sing my music, people used to ask me like, why you don't sing boleros or cha-cha-cha? They don't want to listen to new music. They just want to listen to the same shit.
What they're used to. They're just used to that.
So I found first a lady called Jane Bonnet that she brought me to Canada to work with her in her projects. And then she knew about a female band that I had in Cuba called Alami, which never had the opportunity to be professional, what is quite a weird concept because all of us are graduated of the conservatories of Cuba. So I don't understand what's that concept that you get graduated and that you need to do another thing to get the authorization to be professional, to play in a stage in Cuba. So it was the problem. We never got that approval, so we never got the chance to make our music in the Cuban stages. So Jane Bonnet saw us playing one time, and
You are all girls.
all girls, and she said, "What about to make it like this, but in a bigger way? Let's bring more musicians, more female musicians from Cuba, and let's make another project." And after that, I got something called Plan Joyas. That is after you win or get something in this competition called Joyas, they give you like the right to play. And we got some gigs in La Zorra del Cuervo, in Café Miramar. And it was the moment that we met Jane Bonnet. She decided to make this project bigger. And that's the project that today was nominated, Grammy nominated, for Best Latin Jazz Album in the American Grammys. And I remember when we were all together, even when we didn't win, we were all together there. We look at each other like, man, we are here. We are here when our country didn't believe in us. So it happened actually to me because Alami and later Makeke, they were playing my music too. The owner of the record label that is called Brownswood Recording, his name is Giles Peterson. He told me like, do you write music? And I said, yeah, actually I'm a songwriter. He said, let's go to the studio. Let me see what do you write. So I had a piano, and I said, and I sang my songs, and I played the piano, and he was so impressed. He said to me, do you want to change your flight and stay longer here in London and record an album with me and make like a real deal with us? I said, yeah, man, of course, like, let's do it. So it was my first album that is called Nueva Era. We didn't made like a plan for the album. It was just crazy and improvised. We had a lot of fun at the studio, but at the end we had this beautiful result, and the world discovered me through this album. But because I was being like launched from London, making like Afro-Cuban music, the way they found to put me out was like in the war music, you know, in this weird concept of world music. So it didn't matter if I was Cuban or something like that. That is why everyone gets crazy. I like this girl Dayme that makes it. Actually, my name doesn't sound like really Cuban, so because it's a mixing of my parents' name, Dagoberto and Mercedes. So they were like, we don't care if it's Cuban or not. It's just something interesting, and we vibe this. And I got everywhere making this music. That's why Branswood said, let's make another album. Let's make a different deal for 5 years, 3 albums. And I did Cubafonia.
Yeah, I know. And you've mentioned that you feel that Cubafonia is more like you, although Nueva Era was considered among the 50 best albums in 2015 by NPR. Why do you think Cubafonia, how Cubafonia is an evolution from Nueva Era? Why do you say, and you've said that it's more like you, that you feel that has more related
because
to you?
I had less war influences, because I had less people telling me what I had to do. This is just songs of mine that I wanted to do it in the Cuban way. So I didn't record this album in London. I did it in Cuba. I came here to see my friends, to help me, to put what I had in my mind into the album. But at the same time, then people realizing that I was Cuban, and everyone got so scared. When I read these comments of the critics, the reviews, the special guys, they talk a lot of bullshit because they really don't know, not always they know what is to be Cuban, what is to sound as a Cuban of the 2017, 18. They are they are back. They are still how can I say, like, connected with that old-fashioned idea about Cuban music. They just wanna keep that feeling of Buena Vista Social Club in the good way. They don't wanna recognize
This
this
new
new
music.
movement, yeah, of Cuban music. So it's quite my fight. It's quite my war.
So you think there's new Cuban music that
Of course,
it's
it's
been
new.
updated?
Yeah, it's new because it's the music I write. So every single thing that I do is something new because I'm creating things. I'm not saying that I'm more special than others. I just got the chance. I just got the opportunity. If the big industries come to Cuba, they will discover a world of crazy young guys making great music, but they don't come to listen to great music. They come to listen what they want to listen to.
I find extremely interesting that it is not common in Cuba to listen. I mean, it is common to listen to jazz, but not so much listening a singer singing jazz. And I've learned that it's very actually internationally something that happens. Nevertheless, you do sing jazz. What does that mean? I mean, usually you have this preconceived perception of a singer. You have this lyric, or you wrote it, you interpret that lyric, and then you stand up with recorded music or with your band, and you sing that. But singing jazz, it means improvising, it means following other musicians with your voice and saying and emitting sounds. How is that? How would that happen? I don't explain us. How is to sing jazz, and why did you took that path?
Jazz is freedom, and I'm totally free. So when I decided to sing jazz, I didn't know that I was singing jazz already. The big band of the school was looking for a jazz singer or just a singer because they were missing a singer. And I didn't know what jazz was. I just wanted to sing in a band. So they gave me the chance to sing with them. They gave me the sheet of My Funny Valentine and Bye Bye Blackbird. I had to learn those songs, but I didn't know what I was singing. I was singing at the Joyas or at the Jazz Plaza, but I didn't know what I was actually. Um, but when I realized this jazzy word, I couldn't move back. I couldn't sing pop again or another type of music because jazz gave me this opportunity to be me. And it's like the song, I'm fancy free, free to be me. I don't have to be as Ella Fitzgerald or Billie Holiday or Nina Simone because what made them big is because they were themselves. So just give me that. And sometimes people are funny. Sometimes people say something like, I sing bolero, salsa, reggaeton, timba, and jazz. and I think that to sing jazz, you have to be a jazz singer. And then you sing bolero, salsa, timba, reggaeton, rumba as a jazz singer, because to be a jazz singer is to have a concept of jazz, is to pay attention to everyone that is around you. You are not the main thing. You are part of the thing. So you don't you don't feel like the main diva of the show, because if you think like that, you're not humble. And to play jazz, you have to be humble, because you have to sing and listening, and to be listening to every single note that everyone is playing, because maybe the piano player is giving you the information that you need to change the idea of the song, because the beauty of jazz is making the song every single time different. You find the soul of the song, and then you vibe the song as you feel, because you don't feel the same every day. You can feel sad, and you can feel happy, and you can feel excited. So you don't have to sing the song in the same way every day. That's the beauty of jazz. So you don't sing boleros as a bolero singer. If you are a jazz singer, you can interpret that bolero as you feel that day, that don't have to be the same tomorrow or yesterday.
You mentioned that you're yourself, that you sing jazz, but I find extremely interesting that it seems like you've erased from your performances all kinds of limits or biases. So you decide that if you want to be yourself and you want to transmit some kind of energy or soul that you're feeling in that moment, so it's jazz. So if the song is in Spanish, it's in Spanish. If it's in English, it's in English. If it's in Portuguese, it's in Portuguese. Or even if it is an African language which you speak, it's fine too, and you do it like that too. Why are you so inspired by religion?
This is what happened. I'm not coming from a religious family. Actually, my grandma is the only one that was a Santeria practitioner. I wanted to be original, and I didn't know how. I just had too many ideas, but I didn't know how. So my father gave me as a gift a CD of Yorubandabo, where they have their songs, and they have a section that is just for Santeria music, with every saint, Elegua, Ogun, Obadala, like in their order. And I remember when I listened to it, I felt something bigger than I felt before for anything. I was like so impressed about the sound of the music, about the drumming of the batas. I was like, this is something that I didn't know. But actually, you know what? I love it. I wanna go deep in this. In my school, there is a class that is optional for Santeria's music. So I went to the professor. I knocked his door and I said, I want to play bata. And he took my hands. And he said, just sing, please. Don't play the batas. You don't have hands for batas. I tried with the concolo, but I couldn't. So I started singing in the folkloric group of the school. And we made some shows, and I had to sing for Oshun, for Yemaya, and it was getting me into the Santeria world. So I fell in love with Santeria music before to think about, you know, become a practitioner, for sure. I decided one time in life that I decided to leave Cuba. Life was so complicated for me here. Nobody wanted to listen to my music. It was so complicated. I said, you know what, I have to go, because I'm not finding the light. So I'm gonna move. But before, I wanna get crowned. For my parents, it was so weird, because you know, they were like, why do you want to become
Because
a
they were not
practitioner?
traditional.
Yeah, and I said, because I feel this music conducts me to this life. It's giving me what I need. I'm gonna go to a country that I don't know. I'm gonna go alone. I need to have at least this something to to hold, you know, when I feel in trouble. So they helped me. My grandma made it for me. I didn't made it with weird people that are looking for money. I made it with my grandma and her old friends of life that are all practitioners, you know, with not big budgets. I didn't pay enough. I didn't pay as people pay to get crowned, for sure. Actually, I didn't have money for that. And when I got into the fourth ceremony, the saints said to me, "Don't go." As no one says that. People normally people get crowned in Cuba and they are looking for this hope of,
Improving.
yeah, they think saint is gonna tell you you're gonna travel and you're gonna have a lot of money and life is gonna be
The
beautiful
sign is
for
going to
you.
provide all of that.
Yeah. But saint said to me, don't go. All the answers for your questions are here. You will find the light here and you'll go everywhere and you'll never will need to leave Cuba. You will be happy where you are and you'll have the tool in your hand to travel everywhere. You don't have to go. Believe in us. If you are getting crowned, it's because you believe in us. So give us the chance to, to show you that your future is here in Cuba. And I said, okay, I'm not gonna go. 3 months later, I found Giles Peterson. That's why my image is all white, because I was Iyabo when I met him. When I did my first album, I had to cover my head. So that's why I keep this image, because they loved it. The idea of all white and hair wrap and be, because it represents my Cuba, my own Cuba. So, you know, sometimes you don't understand life, but destiny helps you to put things together and find a way to find the light.
So is the light in Cuba?
Yeah, yes it is. Yes it is.
Are you gonna stay more time? Are you gonna focus now on being here?
I have been here. I mean, I got crowned in April. I'm gonna get 4 years, and I don't think to move. I don't want to move because I need oxygen, and Cuba gives me that. I need new music. I need vibes of my people that I don't get it anywhere. When you get to travel and you get to see everywhere in the world, then you realize the beauty of your country. Then you discover the treasure. Then you understand that Cuba is the treasure island. Just people don't know it. People forget it. We are surviving. We stand life of things in Cuba. That means that we know how to stand life, our own life. That's a treasure. People just want to die in the world. People are stressed. People are depressed. People are everything. People don't know how to live. And when you move back to Cuba, you see people fighting for life every day. Come on, man. That makes you feel that you don't want to go everywhere. You want to stay here.
Thank you so much, Dayme. It's been inspiring listening to you.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to talk to you. And hopefully life is gonna be better, and hopefully people will get a little bit of this little soul that is in the middle of the earth.
Thank you again.
Pleasure.